Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today's date is Tuesday, July 21, 2020, and this is Rick with Hit and Run Candlesticks, and I would like to say thank you for watching my morning video blog on trade ideas for stocks and options. I really appreciate you here, okay? All right, let's take a look at the SPY. Great day yesterday. Terrific day yesterday, actually. Lots of reports from members in the trading room that some good money was made and also some great trades entered throughout the day and then going into the close last night. So it looks like those choices paid off. Well done, everybody. Looks like we are opening up a bit higher. Now it is, what is it? It's 6:38 a.m. my time, and I'm an hour behind East Coast. So we're definitely a little bit early here before the market opens, and anything can happen. But right now, I would say that we're going to open up around that 327.15, 327.20 area. We're not far off our 330 target, and if we can get through that 330 target, then we're going to be looking about 337 actually up here as the next target area or profit-taking area. So we've got a nice trend here in the market. You can see that indicated by our red and green dots, our trendicator. Let's see. Whoops. Put that back. Let's come over here, and I want to draw a line down. We can clearly see that we've broken out, and from this breakout, the bulls have just taken us up in normal fashion, low to high, to a higher low, and now we're moving to a higher high. That we just love that chart pattern where price rallies up and has a shallow pullback, and then the buyers step back in and take us on up a little bit higher. This is the money swing right there. That's the money swing. So right now it looks to me like the SPY is doing absolutely wonderful. The Qs should be followed as they are part of the big tech that is running us up in the market right now. Trend is clearly bullish here. You can see that through the red dots and the green dots. This is our trendicator. Just the other day I made a video on how to set the trendicator up on YouTube. You can find it right there on YouTube if you want to check it out. So here we're looking 273-ish, 280 and some change up here on the Qs. We've got a cradle, a bullish cradle pattern being made here. And what that is when we have a down day and then we have a some sideways action like this right here. Pretty flat sideways action. This is the footboard. This is the mattress to the cradle. And then this is the headboard, and it looks like the headboard is going to extend today just a little bit. And maybe we do get that 73 and change up there on the Qs. One of the most important charts I think there is in this market is this one right here. This is the FNGU. FNGU is the FANG ETN for some of the big boys like Facebook, Amazon, Google, Tesla, like I say, some of those big boys in there, Microsoft, and those are the ones leading this market right now. So that's what we really need to keep our eyes on. And this has another one of those bullish cradle patterns being built here. We broke out, and it does look like price got a little bit excited, a little bit overheated, and that's why it needed to pull back. We've got that cradle pattern in here, a doji or a Morningstar type pattern. That's not an official Morningstar. I put this in the Morningstar family, though. Looks like we're going to open up a bit higher and possibly challenge the high of this July 13 candle here. We break out of that area there, I wouldn't be surprised if something up in the 180 mark is next for FNGU. All right, let's go look at some trade ideas today. The first one I have is Morningstar. There is no order here, by the way. The first one is not necessarily the one I think is best. They're just there. So Morningstar, Morgan Stanley. It has earnings on 10/15. So it's very important that for the next week or two, 3 weeks, that we check every trade that we're going to trade and every trade you're in when earnings are. Earnings are very important. Some folks like to trade them. Some folks don't like to trade them, and some folks just don't care. But it is worth your while to know if the position you are in is going through earnings. So always check that. So Morgan Stanley, let's put another line up here. We broke out right there. That's what I'm liking. So Morgan Stanley popped up, and then we've pulled back and made a little bit of a nice little rounded bottom here, and here it took off to the upside. Here's our rally or run to the upside. Here's our rest. We've got a nice little doji that was put in yesterday. So what we're going to look for is positive trading. If there is positive trading over that doji, then that would be a good buy signal, and I will be considering this as a trade today, maybe tomorrow or the next day. Trades that I put out are not just for one day. They are for, say, 1 day to 3 weeks maybe. We're looking for the chart to turn around, and it might take a couple of days for them to turn around. Targets or profit zones that I have for Morgan Stanley, about 55, then run up to the high 56 area, then possibly the high 58 area up here. We like it because of the breakout. So where would we not like it? Well, if it started to trade below the breakout area and fall off these two candles, and maybe this candle's low, 50.65, that might be a good stop area. Remember to plan your trade and trade your plan. So you want to plan your stop, your entry, your risk, your reward, and your stop, your entry could be very, very different than what someone else's is. NIO, I think NIO needs to be put back on that watch list. And the NIO traders out there, you're probably tickle pink. Great comeback yesterday. We've had quite the little pullback right here on NIO after a big run up. Looks like the buyers are now starting to step in. We closed over the T-line yesterday. Any bullish follow through, I'm going to look at that as positive and tradable. Looks like we're going to open up around 1360. First target, we need to get through 1540. That could be a nice profit zone, and then I'm looking for about 1940 up here as the next profit zone. FVRR, little J-Hook chart pattern. So we rally up, we pull back, and you see we're making that J up, and again that cradle pattern in the chart, which a cradle pattern top also is a very nice J-hook type continuation chart pattern on some terrific volume yesterday. Watch for 96.70, the upper 96 area. Watch for 104 and some change for a target or a profit zone. Roku, I think Roku needs to be put back on this list. Roku has gapped up. It ran up, pulled back, and it's just been consolidating the last 2, 4, 5 days. A little bit to the right. It finally pulled in a little closer to that trend line. It is in the buy box yesterday with a nice little doji spinning top type candle. Watching for some price action inside this green box here that would suggest that the buyers are stepping in and or a breakout. We might look at the breakout of the buy box for an entry. And then we're looking at 173.90, 191.60 up here as possible targets on Roku. I want to remind everybody too that I will be going over these charts again with members in the trading room right before the market opens, a little more in depth with stops and just a few more comments made on them. So I hope to see you in the trading room. If you've not had a trial with hit and run candlesticks, check the links below. There is a trial link in there. We'd love to have you in the room, hear your insight on charts as well. Thank you. Okay, pins, P-I-N-S. This is a favorite. A lot of people like to trade pins. It's priced right, reasonably priced. It's not a big dollar stock, 26 bucks. It's pretty reasonable. You can see the trend here. See that trend moving up? Here, let's put a trend. So, you can clearly see that trend. I'm looking for 28 and above 50 somewhere, and then maybe 30, possibly even 31. We've got that cradle pattern being created here. So I'm watching for an inside day or positive trading above yesterday. That would make a pretty good entry on this chart as well. Let me put up the 3 EMA, and then what that does, that gives us a view of our 3/8 trap, and you can see that it pulled price down below the T line where the 3 came so close to the T line, and here we are breaking out of that trap. And I love that chart pattern right there when the candle can engulf the trap lines, which is the T line and the 3. An inside day would be awfully nice. It's going to need to pull back just a little bit, but I'll also take the breakout if it's reasonably close. KR, Kroger's seems to be acting pretty good. Kind of a choppy chart, very, very choppy chart. We're sitting in that 3/8 trap. That's where we closed yesterday. You can see our green dot trend is working. So I'm going to be looking for positive trading, a good price to get in. Let's just draw a line up like this, and let's just draw a line across here like that. So anything in this area here would make a good entry price. Your risk would be minimal. Reward up here around 35.30 or around 36.70 on the reward. Another favorite is Snap. A lot of people like Snap. You can clearly see that trend is up. Hey, always be trading with the trend. Don't buck the trend. The trend truly is your friend. If you don't know how to find a trend, if you don't know what to look for, just let us know. It's real easy, very easy, and it is so easy when you have these the trendicator dots up here. And I use the 17 EMA as my baseline for the trendicator. You can use something else. You can use the 20-day simple. See, I can come in here if I wanted, whoops, I have that 715. My goodness, I'm gonna fix that back. There we go. I don't know where that came from. So I could put this on, say, the 25 if I want. Look how it moves that line right there. Man, that is so nice. So it's just a great little tool to point out where that, what the trend is. It's a moving trend. Terrific for those lazy traders out there. So if you're like me, you love it. When you see it green, it's trending. When you see it red, well, it's trending too, just toward the downside. All right, so Snap has pulled back. There's that cradle pattern. There's that breakout of the cradle pattern, suggesting that the buyers are stepping in. We'll look for a nice little entry here, and we'll use this box area for an entry. Targets, profit zones, 27.80, 29.60, 32 up here for some profit zones. Etsy, ETSY. Etsy's starting to come up. Let me move this out of the way. There we go. Etsy's been trending up. It pulled back a bit. It got below the 17. You can see the red dots. This actually could have turned out to be a short, but it looks like that yesterday the bulls were not willing to allow that to happen. Pretty good candle, fairly good volume. Follow through today would pretty much suggest that the bulls really meant it yesterday. Follow through could take us up and test the 114.60 area, followed by about 122 on Etsy. Another chart I have is Uber. Uber may be setting up here. You can see how it's been green, nice and bullish over here. And then we got up, we put a shooting star in, we had some follow through down below the T line. We broke down through the trendicator, and you can see we've been trending down now. You can see where price is underneath the trendicator. We just never want to go long underneath those green dots. We want to wait to be long we don't want to be long under the red dots. We want to look for long trades once we break out and we turn into the green dots here. So now Uber's up, it pulled back a bit, we gapped up, and now it looks like we're consolidating. It's got its tires back under it, the engine back in it, and it looks like it may be ready to move up higher. So we're looking for Uber to get to 37, then possibly 40 and a half. And MU. I've got MU on the chart. There were several people in the trading room yesterday looking at this, and let's draw these lines in here, like so. So we've got a nice little symmetrical wedge going on now. We need to see MU break out, and if MU breaks out, then I'm looking for 56.60, 61.90 up here. Pretty good volume yesterday. So an ideal trade might be something like this. Maybe if you're in it, that's fantastic. Way to go. We get the breakout. Some buyers are going to buy the breakout. Some buyers are going to wait till it contracts or rests or pull back or gives us a PBO setup. This may be some entry areas here. And then we'll be looking for the bulls to push us up higher, again for that 56 area, and then up here toward 61. Alrighty. Hey, this is Rick with Hit and Run Candlesticks. I want to thank you very much for listening to our video blog. And if you get a chance, check us out in the trading room. We'll see you.